She cheated, abandoned our children, and thought I'd beg her back. She said I must give money for her new kid. I said no. I went to court. The court made her sad. When I was 27 years old, my life was good. I had a job, I went to the gym, I spent time with my friends. I did my own thing. One day, my friend Mark had a party. I met my old wife, Jessica, there. She was far away. She laughed. She looked pretty. I told a bad joke about the food. She laughed. I thought I was cool. 8 months later, we got married. I know that was not smart. At first, our life was okay. It was not great, but it was not bad. Then she had a baby boy. His name was Michael. I was so happy. I was never that happy before. I remember when I held him the first time. He had my eyes. He had her nose. I held him like a wrap. I tried not to cry. The first days were hard. I worked all day. I came home. I took care of the baby at night. She could sleep. One night, Michael cried a lot. I walked with him for 3 hours. I sang songs to him. He fell asleep on my chest. I did not move. I did not want to wake him. I did not care about work the next day. I thought this was where I should be. But things changed after some weeks. Jessica became different. She was far from me. She found bad things in what I did. I worked more hours to get money for the baby. I came home. She looked at her phone. She did not look at me. She said, "You did not fold the clothes." She said, "The baby cried all day. You just came home. It must be nice to be away." I was tired from work. I thought, what happened to us? But I tried. I made food in the morning. I took care of Michael at night. I planned nights out for us. Nothing helped. One night, Michael was 3 months old. I made a big surprise for her. My mom came to watch the baby. I got us a table at a restaurant. We went there on our first date. I bought her a necklace. She wanted it before the baby. I was happy. I thought this would help us. I came home with flowers. I told her to dress up. She made a big breath out. She did not want to go out. She said, "Can we get pizza?" I tried not to look sad. I said, "It would be good to have time together. My mom is coming." She looked up. She said, "Okay, give me 30 minutes." She took 1 hour. She looked at her phone. She got ready slow. Dinner was bad. She looked at her phone. She did not talk to me. I gave her the necklace. She said, "Thanks." She did not sound happy. She said she was tired. She wanted to go home. Then she had a baby again. Michael was 1 year old. Then things got bad. She wrote texts all the time. When I came in the room, she put her phone down. This was bad. I asked who she talked to. She got mad. She said, "Can I not have friends? You tell me what to do." I knew something was wrong. I felt bad in my stomach every day. One night I woke up. I went to check on Michael. I saw her phone light. It was 2 at night. Who texts at 2 at night? Only someone you like. I said nothing, but I watched her more. She took her phone to the bathroom. She went outside when we ate. These are all bad signs. Our daughter Emma was born. Things got worse. One night, Jessica was in the shower. Her phone made a sound. A man named Ryan sent a message. He said, "I miss talking to you too." This was cheating. I did not talk to her about it. I just watched. She became more far from me. She always looked at her phone. She was cold. One night, the kids were asleep. I said, "Something is wrong. We don't talk. We don't feel close. We're like people who share a house." She didn't care. She said, "I am tired. I had 2 babies in 2 years. I don't want to act happy." I said, "This is not about acting. This is about respect." She got mad. She said, "You should not have made me have another baby." I looked at her. We both wanted Emma. I said nothing. She said, "I'm going to bed." That was it. I stopped trying to fix things. Emma was 4 months old. I came home from work. I saw divorce papers on the table. She did not talk to me about it. We did not get help. She just said, "I'm done. I need better." She acted like she was the good person. She said, "You were cold. You were not here for me." I wanted to yell. I wanted to show her my 57 texts. She did not answer them. I asked if she was okay. I asked if we could talk. I asked if I could help. I wanted to tell her I got up with the baby at 3 in the morning. She said she was too tired. But I looked at my kids. Michael was almost 2. Emma was a baby. I knew a bad divorce would hurt them. I remember that day. I was in the kitchen. I had the divorce papers. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Michael played with toys on the floor. Emma slept in her swing. I stood there. I thought my life was over, but I was already done. My heart left her long ago. I looked at her. I asked, "Is there another man? Ryan?" She did not move. She said, "This is not about another man. We don't work together." She did not say no. I knew it was true. I felt bad, but I said, "Okay." We split everything half and half. Money, kids, no child money. We both had jobs. I signed the papers. I felt like I lost a part of me. The worst part was moving out. I got a small house close by. I sat alone the first night. My kids slept far away. I sat on my floor. I had a bed and a TV. I looked at kids' pictures on my phone. The phone died. I sat in the dark. I thought, how did my life break so fast? The first days alone were hard.
I was happy to see my kids. Then I felt too much work. I had a baby and a small kid. Emma got sick one time. I got scared. I called my mom at 2 a.m. She said, "It is just a fever. Don't worry." I watched Emma breathe all night. Morning came. She was okay. I knew I could do this. Giving the kids back was hard. We met at a coffee shop parking lot. We did not look at each other. We gave car seats and bags. Michael cried when I left. It hurt my heart. Emma was too small to know, but Michael knew. He asked, "Dad, why don't you live with us?" I said, "Mom and Dad love you. We think we are better moms and dads in 2 houses." He thought. He asked, "Can I have 2 rooms?" Kids are strong. 1 year after the divorce, Jessica met a new man. His name was Brian. She did not go to Ryan. That showed me who she was. Brian acts like he is the best dad. He works a little. He works 20 hours a week. Jessica pays for most things. They got married. Michael was 4, Emma was 2. Now my kids had a new sister. Her name was Lisa. She was Michael's age. Then they had a baby boy. His name was David. He is 7 now. The first time I met Brian was at school. I helped Michael put his bag up. Brian came with Jessica. He wore a bad shirt. He said, "Hey, you are the old husband." He smiled in a bad way. I wanted to hit him. He said, "I am Brian. I heard about you." I shook his hand fast. I did not say nice things back. He laughed loud. He said, "The kids are good. Michael teaches Lisa to build with blocks. They are best friends." The way he said it made me mad. He acted like Michael was his son. I did not show it. For Michael, I was nice. I said, "That's good. Michael shares well." I touched Michael's hair. I remember the first time I took the kids to their new house. They put a sign on the door. It said, "Happy Family." It had all their names. My kid's last name is Smith. It was not on the sign. I said nothing. It was not a fight I wanted. The worst thing was when Michael came home. He said, Dad Brian will teach me to ride a bike." We ate food. I almost choked. I asked, "Who is Dad Brian?" He said, "Mom's husband." He made me feel dumb. He said, "Brian said I can call him Dad Brian. He is like my other dad." I went outside. I needed a minute. I came back. I said, "You have a dad. Me. It might be easier to call him Brian." Michael said, "Mom said I must call him Dad Brian. It is nice." That night, I sent Jessica a text. I said, "Can we talk about Dad Brian? I don't like it." She wrote back 1 hour later. She said, "It was Michael's idea. Don't make it big." I knew it was not true. What could I do? Make Michael call him something else? That would confuse him. So I said nothing. I worked very hard. My kids had all they needed at my house. I got 2 better jobs at work. I saved money. I bought a small, nice house. The schools there were good. My life was for Michael and Emma. I gave them a safe home and good chances. But Brian said mean things, quietly, every time we saw each other at school. One night at school, I looked at the science work. Michael made a robot arm. It could pick up small balls. Brian came close to me. He said, "Hey man, your new car is good. Must be nice. You have extra money. You only have 2 kids." I drove an old car. I bought it used. But I said, "It works. It takes me places." I tried to be nice. He said, "Some of us know about giving up things for a family with stepkids." He showed me his watch. It cost a lot, more than my car costs. I just walked away. He did this a lot, but I stayed calm. For the kids. We went on a school trip. I helped watch the kids. Brian helped too. For 6 hours, he talked loud. He said they would go to Hawaii. He bought a new game for all kids. He said it was hard but good to raise 4 kids. He told other parents, "our kids," when he meant Michael and Emma. It made me very mad. At lunch, he sat across from me. Kids played. He said, "The kids have a hard time going back and forth." He opened his special food. He said, "Jessica and I think it might be better kids stay in one house. They visit you on weekends." I almost spit out my water. I said, "What?" He put his hands up. He said, "I just think what is best for the kids. No bad feelings." I said, "The kid plan is not to talk about. Not with you." I talked quiet. Kids did not hear. He did not care. He said, "Just think about it. Jessica says you put kids first. I thought you would want to know. They have a hard time." I wanted to hit the table. I did not. I stood up. I went to my kids. They played. They laughed. They did not have a hard time. The big problem started. Jessica wanted me to treat her kids like my kids. Small things first. She said, "Bring a gift for Brian's girl."
When you pick up the kids, she said, "It is not nice. You bring gifts for Michael and Emma. Lisa is there. You give her nothing." She acted like I was bad. I did not buy a gift for a kid who was not mine. Then it got worse. She said I should take Lisa out when I had my kids for the weekend. She said, "The kids get confused. You only take 2 of them. They are all sisters and brothers now." At first, I tried to be nice. I said, "I'm glad they are close, but my time with Michael and Emma is short. I want to be with them." She did not like it. She said, "Wow, you make a little girl feel left out. Very grown up of you." She made me feel bad for years. I said no, but she told people I was the bad one. When I picked up my kids, they talked. "Dad Brian bought us all Disney tickets. We went skiing, like a real family." One weekend, Michael was quiet in the car. I asked, "What is wrong?" He said, "Last night, Mom and Brian talked about you. They did not know I heard." My stomach felt bad. I asked, "What did they say, son?" He looked out the window. He said, "Brian said you were selfish. You don't care about our whole family. You just want to look like the fun dad." I held the steering wheel tight. My hands were white. I said, "That is not true, Michael. I love you and Emma more than anything." He said, "I know." He said, "I told Mom that was mean." She said, "Don't tell private talks." I had to stop the car. I was shaking. I breathed deep. I turned to my son. I looked at him. I said, "Michael, I don't want you to feel stuck in the middle. If you hear something that makes you sad, you can always tell me, okay? No secrets." He nodded. I saw he felt better. The mean things about me not being in their real family made me mad, but I never told the kids. They should not be in grown-up fights. Kids got older. Jessica asked for more money. It was crazy. Michael was 7, Emma was 5. They were very smart in school. I looked for a good school. I found a great school. It taught science and math. It cost a lot. $12,000 for one kid for 1 year. But the teaching was very good. I told Jessica about the school. I said I would pay all the money for Michael and Emma. She was not happy. She made me feel bad about Lisa. She said, "It is not fair if all 3 kids don't go. It breaks them apart." She tried to make me pay for Brian's kid too. I said no. I said I pay for Michael and Emma. You pay for the others. She was very mad. But guess what? They put Lisa in the school.
Brian's parents paid. We had this talk all the time. Everything I bought for my kids, everything I did for them, it became a fight. They wanted me to do the same for their stepkids. Last spring, I got very mad. My kids are very smart. They got into a special camp. It was for tech. It was in Colorado. Only 40 kids in the whole country got in. 40! My 2 kids got in. Michael is amazing at computer code. He made his own game things when he was 9. Emma is amazing at robots. She won a big contest. She made a robot that sorts trash. I was so proud. I felt like I would burst. They worked so hard. They stayed up late. They finished projects. They wrote stories. They did everything. I remember when we sent the papers. We were at my table. Michael checked for mistakes. He was nervous. Emma moved up and down. She put videos of her robot on the computer. Michael asked, "What if we don't get in, Dad?" I said, "We try next year, but I think you will get in." 1 month later, the email came. We were at my house. I let them check my email after we ate. They screamed. People 3 streets away could hear. Emma danced on the couch. Michael read the email again and again. He could not believe it. I took them for ice cream. I said I would buy them new computers for camp. They were so happy. It was a perfect time. Being a parent felt worth all the hard work. The camp cost $7,800 for each kid, plus plane tickets and things. Almost $20,000 total. I did not wait. I saved money for their school. Since the divorce, I drove an old car. I lived in a small house. I did not take trips. All for their chances. I told Jessica about the camp. We talk once a month about the kids. She did not say good job. She did not look happy. She looked like she was thinking hard. It made my stomach feel bad. She said, "Lisa likes robots too." I did not care about my kids' win. I said, yes. I knew what she wanted. She said, "It would be good. All 3 kids go together." I drank my coffee slow. I said, "Jessica, this is not a family trip. Michael and Emma won their spots. Many kids wanted to go." She moved close. She talked quiet. She said, "We can get Lisa in too. You should pay. You pay for Michael and Emma." I laughed. I thought she was kidding. She was not. I asked, "You want me to pay $8,000 for your husband's kid? For camp?" She said, "Our kids are sisters and brothers. It hurts them when you split them." I said, "No, what hurts them? Teaching them work does not matter? Teaching them they get things they did not earn." Her face got hard. She said, "You don't care about their sister? They will be mad at each other because of you." I said, "They will be mad at you if you take away their special time. They worked for it." I talked strong. I said, "We are not talking about this more." She stood up. She got her bag. She said, "We will see. Don't be surprised if the kids say they don't want to go without Lisa." I asked, "Are you using the kids to make me do this?" She smiled a cold smile. She said, "I just say, family should be together. Maybe you forgot that." I left the coffee shop. My hands shook, not because I was scared, because I did not want to hit the table. The nerve of her. The next day, Michael called. He was sad. Jessica told him he should not go to camp if Lisa could not go. She made him feel bad. I told him he and Emma won their spots. They should go. He wanted to go. He needed to hear it was okay. After the call, I texted Jessica. I said, "Stop using the kids." She sent a thumbs down picture. Very grown up. But that was not the end. You don't know Jessica. 2 days later, I was at work. I was doing a big talk. I worked on it for weeks. I got a text from Brian. It said, "We need to talk about your help for our house." I almost spit out my coffee. What? I did not answer. I thought it was a game. It would stop. But that Friday, I got the kids. Jessica gave me papers. A paper with numbers and a letter. Like old times. The kids got their bags. I looked at the paper. It said, "Pay half their rent. $2,400. She said, "My house is too nice. It makes things not equal for Michael and Emma. I should pay half their rent to make it fair." I told her, my house is mine. My money is mine. Their house is not my business. She said it again. She said it was for the kids. Like I did not give up everything to give the kids a good home. Then Brian came.
like her helper. He had the nerve to say, "A real man pays for the whole family." Then I knew. This was not about the kids. It was about them. They wanted my money for their life. I felt hot all over. The nerve of him, saying I am not a man while asking for my money. I never fought as a grown-up, but I understood why people fight. I stepped close to Brian. I said, "Brian, you know what a real man does? He pays his own bills. He does not ask his wife's old husband to pay for his life." Brian's face turned red. He said, "Be careful, the kids are here." I said, "Then don't start this when I get the kids." And let me be clear. A real man does not use kids to get money. Jessica got between us. She said, "This is not getting money. It is co-parenting. You only care about yourself." I laughed. A real laugh, because it was so crazy. I said, "Co-parenting means we both care for the kids, not me paying your bills. Our kids, Michael and Emma, not Brian's kid, not your new baby." I called the kids. We left. As we drove, I saw Jessica and Brian. They stood at the door. They looked mad. Their plan did not work. I held the steering wheel tight. My hands were white. Emma asked from the back, "Dad, are you okay?" I made myself smile. I said, "Yes, kid, just thinking. What movie should we watch tonight?" At my house, kids were asleep. I sat outside. I had a beer. I felt like I was crazy. I called my friend Mark. He had a divorce like me. I said, "Am I being bad? Should I give them money?" Mark said no. He said, "You pay for your kids, school, doctor. That is your job. Their house bills are their job." I asked, "But what if the kids are sad? Their house is not as nice." He asked, "Are they sad? Do they have food, clothes, beds?" I said, "Yes, of course." He said, "Then they are fine. Kids don't care about house size. They care about love and safety. Don't let them make you feel crazy." He was right, but they made me feel bad all the time. It never stopped. Sometimes I thought, am I crazy? Am I bad? Am I hurting the kids because I don't play their happy family game? I stayed awake half the night. Then I remembered, saying no does not make me a bad dad. I did not know. This was just the start. 1 week after the rent thing, I went to a school meeting. I had coffee. I wanted to hear about my kids, but it was a trap. Jessica, Brian, and the teacher sat there. They looked serious. Jessica made it a surprise talk. She said my bad parenting hurt the kids. Why? I only take my kids out. I won't pay for Lisa. My house is too nice. She said I was bad because I don't pay for their fake happy family. I sat there. I couldn't believe it. Brian took out his phone. He showed pictures from their trip to San Diego. He said, "See? All 4 kids are happy together. But when he takes only Michael and Emma, it makes a fake split." My face felt hot. I wanted to leave, but I stayed. Jessica talked. She cried fake tears. She said,
Michael came home crying. He felt bad. Lisa could not go to camp. This was a lie. Michael was so happy about camp. For weeks. Brian talked more. He said, "Emma acts bad because I treat her different from her sisters and brothers." This man, he does not know Emma's days, but he thinks he knows her feelings. That was it. I talked loud. I said, "Emma has no sisters or brothers at my house. She has a brother, Michael. That is not confusing. That is the plan. You signed the papers." Jessica said, "You don't accept their real family with stepkids." I said, "Their real life is 2 houses. You wanted that. We live that." Brian moved close. He said, "You are scared. They have a full family with us. It is not fair. You hurt the kids because you feel small." I looked at him. I said, "A full family? You mean the family where you tell my son you are stuck with him? The family where my daughter feels bad because she got into a camp she earned? That is your full family?" Jessica acted shocked, like I said something very bad. I stopped her. I said, "Don't talk. I saw the texts. I heard the kids. This is not about feelings. This is about you. You want to control the story and my money." They said the same things again. They acted like victims. They said I was bad because I don't play their happy family game. When that did not work, Jessica showed her true self. She said, "If you don't see how you hurt the kids, we might change the kid plan.
We will ask the court. Kids live with us more because you hurt their feelings." The room got quiet. I felt cold. They wanted to take my kids because I won't pay for Brian's kids' camp? Because I won't pay their rent? I talked calm, but I was very mad inside. I said, "Let me be clear. I never hurt my kids. I never will. I gave them every chance I could. I was there for every big thing in their life. If you say I did not, show proof. Not just that I won't pay for Brian's kids' camp." Jessica smiled a bad smile. She said, "We have lots of proof. You don't help a good stepfamily life. The court cares about that now." Something broke in me. Not anger, but clear thinking. I tried to be nice for years. I kept quiet. Why? So they could take my kids? I stood up. I got my things. I looked at Jessica, right in the eyes. I said, "We are done. If you talk about the kid plan again, talk to my lawyer." I walked out. My heart beat fast. I got in my car. I closed the door. I sat there. My hands shook. They wanted to take my kids. My kids. I felt scared, mad, and also relief. Relief because now it was a real fight. No more maybe. No more giving them a chance. I made 2 calls from my car. One to the best family lawyer in town. One to my friend Mark. He works with computers. He finds things. For 1 month, I acted normal. Outside, nothing changed. I kept the same kid days. I was nice when I got the kids. I did not answer Jessica's mean texts. I smiled. I nodded, like nothing was wrong. But inside, I worked hard. I built a strong case. Mark found all deleted texts between Jessica and me for 3 years. Every mean text, every demand, every threat, all saved. I got all my money papers, everything I paid for the kids since the divorce, school, doctor, activities, everything. I recorded every talk, when I got the kids, when I dropped them off. It is okay in my state. I kept the rent letter, other papers they sent me. My lawyer got letters from teachers and coaches. They said I am a good dad. One day I remember, I was at Michael's computer contest. I sat in the crowd. I saw Brian and Jessica across the room. They did not see me. I watched Brian. He looked at his watch many times. He looked bored. Michael showed his work on stage. When Michael finished, Brian stood up. He walked out. Jessica was still clapping. I recorded it all on my phone. I put a camera in my car. It recorded talks in the car. I caught good things. Brian told the kids, "Your dad doesn't get families." Jessica said, "Maybe we ask Santa to make your dad less selfish about camp." My lawyer looked at all my proof. She started working, like she waited for this. No questions, no waiting, just worked. Every paper I kept, every bad thing they did, she put it all together like a game. I did not need a talk. I could see. This case was strong. They would find out they made a big mistake. I stayed up late. Kids were asleep. I put all my proof in order. I wrote down every talk I remembered. Some nights I worked so long, it was 3 at night. I had to work in 3 hours. I was very tired. But I had to protect my kids.
Sometimes I doubted. I woke up at night, sweating. I thought, am I being small? Will this hurt the kids later? But I remembered. They started the fight, not me. They said they would take my kids. You can't go back from that. Jessica got braver. She thought her threat worked. She sent me a work email. I put it in my proof folder. She said I must pay $8,500 for Lisa to go to a camp like Michael's, to make it fair. I did not answer. Then she sent emails about the kids to her sister and mom. They all wrote back. They all said I was a bad dad because I don't pay for the whole family. My favorite was from her mom. It said, "A real dad would want all kids to have the same chances. You should be ashamed." I sent everything to my lawyer. I said nothing. The big change came. Michael texted me late one night. He said, "Dad, can I come tomorrow, not Friday? Mom and Brian are fighting about money again." Brian said, "You should be a man. Help them. They're stuck with your kids half the time." Reading that felt like a hit in the chest. Stuck with my kids? Like they were a problem. I took a picture of the text. It broke my heart. To use my son's words. The next day, I got Michael early. In the car, he told me, "Brian said I have a nice house because I don't pay for a real family. Brian said I made Lisa cry because I didn't pay for her camp." I asked, "Does that bother you?" He nodded. He said, "It makes me feel like we are a problem, but I know we are not." That was it. The last thing. I went to court. I asked for the kids to live with me more, 70% of the time. I said no more talks. All talks must go through a court app. When they got the court papers, my phone rang a watt. Calls, texts, even her mom wrote me. I did not answer any. 2 days later, Jessica stopped me. She asked, "Is this about the camp?" I said, "No, this is about you and Brian, using the kids to fight because I won't pay for your life." She tried to say no, weakly. I stopped her. I said, "Tell the judge. From now on, talk to my lawyer or use the app." 1 week later, Brian tried to fight me at the school parking lot. He said mean things about lawyers, called me selfish. I did not look at him. I just pointed to my car camera. It was recording. He stopped talking fast. He walked away. No more words. The weeks before court were very tense. Jessica started being super nice to the kids. She bought them gifts for no reason. She took them to fun parks. On school nights, she let them stay up very late. This is how you turn kids against their dad. I wrote it all down, but I said nothing to the kids. I kept our life the same. Homework first, then fun. Bedtime on time. Food at home. The boring, same parenting kids need. My lawyer told me what to expect. She said, "They will say you control things. You are jealous of their happy family. Don't get mad. Let the proof talk." 6 weeks later, court day, I was ready. The proof told the story. Texts, money asks, recordings, even the kids' words about being pushed. Jessica's lawyer looked nervous. The judge did not like their excuses, especially after reading Brian called my kids a problem. Their plan to say I was bad failed. The judge stopped it. She said I don't have to pay for kids who aren't mine. She said their threats were clear manipulation. In the end, I got the kids 70% of the time. Strict talk rules. Official papers said I owe nothing for their stepfamily. Plus, they pay my lawyer bill. All $14,380. Walking out of court, I didn't feel like I won. I felt like I stopped them from making the rules. After court, I bought a house, close to the science school. Small, good, all ours. I made a computer room for the kids, gave them their own space. First day, we built game computers. We played Minecraft too late. That night, pizza on the floor, sleeping bags, no furniture yet. I felt more peace than in years. All talks went through the court app after that. No surprise texts, no fake problems, no guilt trips. Jessica hated it. I didn't care. Everything was written down now. The kids did great. More calm, more open, no more being scared. Emma asked, "Is it okay to be happy with you?" I said, "It always was." While they unpacked, I sent a man to Jessica and Brian's house. He gave them my lawyer bill, $14,380, and a note. It said, "I care for my kids, not your life." Maybe small, but needed. Yes, Michael and Emma did great at the tech camp. They asked them to come back as helpers. I sent the yes note through the app. No extra talk, just the news. 6 months later, things are calm. Michael got into a special computer class. He's 13. Emma's robot team is going to the big contest for the whole country. And me? I remembered who I am without all the trouble. I met someone new. She's a teacher. Smart, calm, no drama. Our first time out felt strange. Good strange. No talk about kids, no hidden feelings, just real talk. But the best moment was this. Michael looked up from his computer. We were working on code. He said, "I'm glad you stood up to Mom and Brian. It was getting weird before." Then I knew I did the right thing. Not for me, for them. I am not just living now. I am alive. And no one is taking my life away.